On today's video, we talk about how the experts say if you're waiting for a crash, you're gonna be waiting even longer. What's going on, everyone? Adam Swartz here, top real estate agent. On today's video, we're going to talk about everyone keeps on saying a crash is coming and why experts are saying if you're waiting for a crash as a home buyer, you're going to be waiting a long time. You know, a lot of people think that we're still heading towards a 2006 because pricing is getting unaffordable and rates are shooting up like we just saw. But let's break down today's video on what are the things that are different from then to now. Obviously, everyone wants to know what's going on in the housing market, even sometimes me, because it's so crazy what we've seen in the last few years. And with inventory being so low and rates jumping up over 2% in the last 4 months, we're obviously seeing a shift in the market right now. Just want you guys to think, in the last few years, we've seen 26.5% prices increase over the last 3 years since the pandemic started. And 77% of home buyers think they are living in a housing bubble right now, which is allowing some buyers to kind of wait for the market to crash, then go in. The chief economist at Redfin says there's no really any room for a bubble right now. It's not like people have borrowed too much, and it's not like we're overvaluing homes. And that's what people need to understand. Back in 2006, you were able to go walk into a bank and get a loan just like that, and they were giving money out to everyone. Nowadays, to get a mortgage is very difficult. We're seeing higher credit scores than ever. We're seeing higher down payments than ever. So we're not really seeing people borrow more than they can afford. The other thing is, back then we had a lot of crazy adjustable rate loans. Now most people are locking into 15 and 30-year fixed loans. So what you're paying today is what you're gonna be paying in 30 years. We're not gonna see that big balloon payment that a lot of people saw back then. The other thing is that there's just not enough housing. You know, we've made so many videos over the last few weeks breaking down that there was over 38,000 houses in the market when we were in a crash, and now we're less than 3,800 in all of Riverside County. So imagine having 1/10 of what we had before. And so until we start seeing those numbers creep back up to, you know, 20, 30,000 houses, like, you know, a few years ago in 2019, before the pandemic and everything got crazy, we saw 17,000 houses on the market, and we were still in a good market. We were still in a market where you put your house on the market, you price it right, you would sell it in the first few weeks with 1 or 2 offers. We were still in a healthy market. I would love to get back to 17,000 houses in this market, because then we can kind of go back to a normal market. But right now, we just have no housing. And there's only 2 ways a house gets on the market. It's 1, we build it, or 2, someone sells it. The problem with selling is I sell something and I buy something else, so I'm really not adding a house on the market. And then with developers, we just can't keep up with building. You know, back when the economy crashed, a lot of small builders exited the market because they just kind of lost their shirt and they just never came back. So we have less builders than we had before. Currently right now, lumber is you know, lower in pricing, but it's still higher than we've ever seen it before. It's hard to get people to build these homes, and then you have to talk about just zoning and those type of laws. You know, we work on new build projects, and you know, from start to just breaking ground are months and months and months. And what people don't understand is when we're sitting on plots of land that we're waiting for cities to give us our plans, give us our permits, let us start breaking ground, like we're eating the cost of that land. So not everyone can develop that land. Builders aren't able to keep up, and less people are selling now. More people now, 79% of homeowners would rather redo their home than sell, because they know if they sell their house and have to go on the open market, how difficult it is to find a house. And with there just being not that many houses on the market, there's just not something they might like. So it's like, why pack up everything, sell it, when you could just spend the money on redoing the house that you have? Unless it's too small or too big, or a 2-story and you need a single story, most people just rather stay in the home they have and just work on it. So the bigger thing is, when is the market going to calm down? Zillow states that they think that it's going to take about 2 years to get back to pre-normal pandemic numbers. So we're really starting to think that they are expecting the market to calm down and cool off a little bit, since we've seen since 2020. It's going to be about 2024 to 2025. So hopefully by then, you know, the new buyers coming up will be able to get the home. So what advice do we have for you if you're looking to buy in the market? 1 is you got to be patient. You know, I've seen over the last few years and some of the videos we've made that buyers are currently regretting the houses they bought because you rushed into a house, you overpaid for it in that time, and it just wasn't fit your needs, but you're so desperate, you're so tired of getting beat on offers, you just settled for the house. So one, be patient. Two, you might need to open up your wide of where you're looking. If your job, you don't have to commute to work, well, maybe you need to go a little bit farther out into a different city or something like that. And then two, if you're expecting to wait for a crash, you know, with rates going up, if prices don't go down, it's actually gonna cost you more to wait than to buy now. Like I always say, we buy and sell to solve problems. So look for a house that solves the problems that you have, and then at that point, lock in a 30-year rate and you'll be just fine. And remember, even if the market goes down, you're still gonna stay in your house. Because right now, what are we noticing? The market goes up, no one's selling their house. So these people can actually make tons of money, they're not selling. So if the market goes down, why would you sell? You just live in the house that you wanna live in. Hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions, remember you can always reach out to us. Until next time, peace.